What if the reason you've never felt like you belong isn't because something is wrong with you? What if it's actually proof that something inside you works differently, more deeply, than most people will ever understand? Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain might change the way you see yourself forever. Most people think belonging is simple. You find your group, you fit in, done. But for some people, it was never that easy. Not because they didn't try, but because something deeper was always running in the background. A quiet voice whispering, "You're here, but you're not really part of this." And the strangest part, it happens everywhere, at work, with friends, even with family, the people who are supposed to feel like home. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're not imagining it. There's real psychology behind why some people carry this feeling their entire lives. Here's what most people don't realize. This feeling usually doesn't start in adulthood, it starts in childhood. Psychologists call it early social imprinting, the way your brain learned what connection is supposed to feel like during your first few years of life. If you grew up in an environment where your emotions were dismissed, where you were told you were too sensitive or too much, your brain made a quiet decision. Being fully yourself isn't safe here, so you learn to adapt, to read the room, to become whatever version of yourself made other people comfortable, and you became incredibly good at it. But here's the cost nobody talks about. Every time you shapeshift to fit in, you move a little further from your real self. And belonging without authenticity isn't belonging at all. It's performance. And if you're still watching right now, that probably tells you something. This isn't just a topic for you, it's personal. Here's the paradox that makes this so painful. People who don't feel like they belong are usually the most emotionally intelligent people in the room. They notice what others miss. They feel what others ignore. They sense tension before anyone says a word. But that same depth, that same sensitivity makes surface level connection feel exhausting, almost pointless. You're not looking for more friends. You're looking for resonance, someone who doesn't just hear your words, but understands the silence between them. And when you can't find that, the loneliness isn't about being alone, it's about being surrounded by people and still feeling unseen. Psychologists describe this as social masking, the neurological cost of constantly presenting a version of yourself that's designed for acceptance rather than truth. And research shows it's genuinely exhausting. It drains your nervous system the same way chronic stress does. So that tiredness you feel after socializing, that heaviness when you get home, it's not weakness. It's your brain recovering from the work of pretending. But here's where it gets interesting, because this feeling, this sense of not belonging, it isn't actually a flaw. And what I'm about to tell you might completely reframe the way you see it. What if not belonging everywhere is your mind's way of refusing to settle? Think about it. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine, and when it senses that a connection is shallow, forced, or emotionally unsafe, it pulls back. Not because you're broken, but because your standards for genuine connection are higher than most. You're not failing at belonging, you're filtering for real belonging. And that distinction matters more than you think. The people who feel out of place are often the ones who eventually build the deepest relationships because they refuse to accept anything less than authenticity. Your sense of misalignment isn't proof that you're flawed. It's proof that you're looking for something most people don't even know exists. So if you've spent your whole life wondering why you feel different, why rooms full of people can still feel lonely, why you seem to belong everywhere on the surface but nowhere underneath, stop trying to fix it. You were never broken. You were just built for a kind of connection that the world doesn't hand out easily. And the fact that you've kept searching, that you haven't numbed yourself to the need for something real, that's not weakness, that's courage. And you will find your people, not by shrinking yourself to fit, but by finally being whole enough to be found. If this video made you feel something, if it felt like someone finally put words to what you've been carrying, leave a comment and tell me, when did you first realize you felt this way? I read every single one, and if you want more psychology that actually sees you, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.